She flinched every time her father spoke. She wouldn't look anyone in the eyes. The nurse thought it was anxiety until the ultrasound revealed the horrifying truth. And the moment the doctor saw the baby's reaction to her father's voice, he knew. He had to act fast. The quiet hum of the clinic in Santa Rosa, California was beginning to fade into the soft tones of closing time. Dr. Evan Lyam, a respected family physician known for his calm manner and sharp mind, was finishing up paperwork in his modest examination room. The clock on the wall crept toward 6:00 p.m. He sighed, ready to close the doors for the day, when the nurse gently knocked and entered with a furrowed brow. "Last patient," Rosa said. "A father and daughter. Something's off." He looked up. Off. She wouldn't give her name, wouldn't speak. The father answered everything for her, and she won't make eye contact. Dr. Lam narrowed his eyes. "Marco Halcon." Rosa nodded. "You know them. They live 3 houses down from me." That surprised her. "Well, she's 14 and she has pregnancy symptoms." That made him pause. "Send them in." The door opened a minute later, and Marco walked in with a firm grip on the shoulder of a petite girl in a red hoodie. Her hair covered half her face. She never once looked up. "Thanks for staying late," Doc Marco said. "We didn't want to wait until next week." Evan nodded. "Of course, Lucia is it?" She nodded but still wouldn't meet his gaze. Marco did most of the talking. "She's pregnant. Morning sickness, fatigue, abdominal pain." "Lucia," Dr. Lam said gently, turning toward her. "I'd like to hear from you. Is that all right?" She nodded again, barely. He proceeded carefully. "Do you know how far along you are?" Before she could respond, Marco interjected. "She has a boyfriend. But we don't need to talk about that." "We'll perform an ultrasound," Evan said, keeping his tone calm to understand how far along you are. Lucia winced when the gel touched her skin. The screen flickered on. What Dr. Lam saw made his breath catch. 28 weeks, he whispered. "It's a girl," Marco grunted. "That can't be right." But that wasn't the most alarming part. "I'm seeing signs of intrauterine growth restriction," Evan said, adjusting the machine. "And an irregular heartbeat. You need to take her to the hospital, tonight." Marco bristled. "Hospital? Isn't there something you can prescribe? She needs immediate specialized care." After some hesitation, Marco took the prescription Evan scribbled and said he'd head to the pharmacy next door. Evan asked Rosa to clean Lucia up. As the door closed behind Marco, the atmosphere shifted. Rosa gently wiped the girl's belly. "You'll be okay, sweetie." Lucia's voice cracked. She kicks when she hears his voice. I hate that she likes him. Evan's heart stopped. "What do you mean?" he asked. But she was silent again. Moments later, Marco returned. He thanked the doctor, gripped Lucia's shoulder, and led her out. Rosa and Evan stood in the room frozen. "That girl's terrified," Rosa said. "She said the baby kicks when she hears his voice." Evan echoed. "And she hates it." "She didn't say boyfriend," Rosa whispered. "She said him." That night, as Evan drove home, he passed Marco's house. Their car was there. "They didn't go to the hospital," he muttered. Back home, his dinner sat untouched as he pulled up Facebook on his laptop. It was a breach of privacy, but something in his gut told him to search. He found Marco's profile easily. Friends, family, a woman named Daniela Rivera. Her face resembled Lucia's. He clicked message. "Hello, I'm Dr. Evan Lam. I saw your daughter Lucia today. Just checking how the hospital visit went. Sorry for the intrusion." 20 minutes later, a reply pinged back. "What hospital visit?" Then a call. "Doctor, I haven't seen Lucia in years. Marco has full custody. We're divorced. I have a restraining order. What's going on?" Evan swallowed hard. "She's pregnant. 3rd trimester. He said she was going to the hospital with you." There was silence, then Daniela's voice raw. "He lied." Evan nodded. "I thought so. I'll check on her again." He put on his coat, walked down the street, knocked on Marco's door. Lucia answered. Her face fear. "Is your dad home?" Evan asked gently. "He thinks you're the delivery guy," she whispered. "Please, go." The door began to close. "I can help," he pleaded. She looked torn. But before she could respond, Marco appeared. "Dr. Lam," he said coolly. "Something wrong? You said she went to the hospital." "She did, with her mother." "You never mentioned a mother." "She's staying with her now." "Right." Evan walked away, heart pounding. Later that night, he returned. Lucia opened the door again, this time alone. He whispered, "I know you didn't go. Are you safe?" She hesitated, then reached into her hoodie and handed him photos. "More?" In the bedroom, she whispered. Footsteps. She shut the door. Marco opened it seconds later. "You again?" Evan stayed calm. I'm concerned about Lucia. Marco was annoyed. We'll go in the morning. He invited Evan inside, trying to avoid a neighborhood scene. They sat. Marco ordered pizza. Evan moved close to Lucia. Is there anything you want to tell me? She nodded subtly. Marco returned with food. She's hungry, Evan improvised. As he left again, Evan examined the photos. He froze. Lucia, on a bed. Marco, posing. Proof. He drove home, called 911. 14-year-old girl. 28 weeks pregnant. I have evidence. The abuser is her father. He sent the photos to Daniela, who called him immediately. I'm going there. I don't care if I get arrested. Let the police handle this, Evan urged. Please. Minutes later, the police arrived. They surrounded the house. No answer. Then movement. Marco was on the roof. Lucia, pregnant, trembling, was with him. Stay back, he shouted. I'll jump. We're a family. If I go down, she goes down. Evan's heart stopped. Daniela arrived screaming, Lucia, I'm here! Lucia's face, tears, relief. Marco snarled. She gave you those pictures, didn't she? He shoved her. Lucia fell straight onto an inflatable cushion the police had deployed seconds before. Paramedics rushed in. Evan was already there. I'm her doctor, he said. Lucia opened her eyes. The baby. We're going to the hospital. Daniela held her daughter's hand in the ambulance, whispering over and over, I'm here. I'm here. At the hospital, Dr. Vasquez confirmed the baby was stable, irregular heartbeat, but strong. Lucia was malnourished, traumatized, but alive. Detective Morales arrived. We found a hidden room in the basement. Evidence. Cameras. Years of abuse. Daniela broke down. He won full custody. I made mistakes. He used them against me. Lucia, lying in bed, reached for her mother's hand. He locked me away. He said I wasn't allowed friends. He said the baby was ours. She sobbed. But she's innocent. I want to keep her. Daniela nodded. We'll raise her together. She'll be safe now. And for the first time in years, Lucia smiled. She was free. She was heard. And a doctor who refused to look away had changed everything. It was 3 a.m. when Dr. Lam stepped outside the hospital. The fluorescent lights behind him gave way to the soft orange glow of a distant sunrise just beginning to leak into the night. The world had changed in the last 12 hours. Lucia was safe. Her baby was alive. And Marco Halcon was in custody, denied bail, facing charges that would echo through the courtroom for years. Child abuse, rape of a minor, false imprisonment, and possession of explicit material involving a minor. But none of it could undo the damage. Daniela sat by her daughter's bedside every day for the next week. Her eyes never left Lucia. She watched her sleep, eat, cry, smile faintly when the baby kicked. She apologized 100 times. I should have fought harder, she said. Lucia shook her head. You came when I needed you, that's enough. But for Evan, something still sat wrong. The photos were damning. The testimony was ironclad, but there was something else. He requested to see the detectives one final time. There's more, isn't there? He asked Morales. The detective nodded. We recovered Marco's computer. There are dozens of files, some encrypted. He was sending material to someone. Who? Evan asked. We don't know yet, but they weren't small files. They weren't for personal use. He was selling. Evan's stomach turned. This wasn't just abuse, Morales said. It was trafficking, organized, long-term. And suddenly the story expanded beyond one house, one street, one victim. Lucia was one of many. That realization changed the city. Protests formed outside the courthouse. School boards launched new investigations. 3 more families came forward. 2 more girls. 1 boy. All told similar stories. All had the same name appear in their nightmares, Marco. But thanks to Lucia and the man who listened when no one else would, the wall of silence had finally shattered. 6 weeks later, Lucia gave birth. It was a stormy evening. Thunder rolled outside and rain tapped against the glass as if the world itself held its breath. Daniela held her daughter's hand as she screamed through labor. Dr. Vasquez stood ready. And then a cry. Loud, fierce, alive. A baby girl, tiny, red-faced, but strong. Lucia held her and sobbed. What's her name? Someone asked. Lucia looked to her mother. Then whispered hope. That same week, Evan submitted his resignation. Not because he was tired, but because he had something bigger in mind. He applied for a grant to open a trauma clinic for adolescent girls, specializing in recovery after abuse and exploitation. He named it Hope's House. Lucia was the first official patient, but not the last. And though the road ahead was long with therapy, flashbacks, depression, she never walked it alone again. Sometimes Dr. Lam would visit her during his late evening shifts. "How are you doing?" he'd ask softly. Lucia would look up holding her baby and say, "She smiles when she hears my voice now." Not his, mine. The trial took months, but in the end, Marco Halcon was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. The courtroom was filled with survivors, mothers, reporters, nurses, detectives, and Evan watching from the back, silent but proud. Daniela testified with tears. Lucia spoke last. She stared Marco in the eye. "I'm not yours," she said. "I never was, and neither is she. She is mine, and we're free now." And that was the moment no one forgot. In the years that followed, Lucia graduated high school, then college. She got her degree in psychology, began training to work at Hope's house herself, and every year on this baby's birthday, she returned to the same hospital, to the same room, just to remember where her freedom began. Daniela rebuilt her relationship with her daughter. Slowly, carefully. Together, they raised Hope with gentle hands and open hearts. "And Evan?" He never stopped checking in. One day, Lucia asked him, "Why did you help me?" He paused, then answered, "Because when I saw you flinch that day, I realized something terrible. Everyone else had already decided not to see you, but I still could." Lucia nodded. "Thank you," she whispered, "for seeing me." And as she turned, her daughter, now walking, giggling, ran into the hallway. Evan caught her in his arms. Hope, the child born of pain, but raised in light. If this story moved, you don't stay silent. Click like to help more people see it. Comment your thoughts, your voice matters. And subscribe to Tim's Stories for more powerful true stories that remind us what it means to care, to notice, and to act. Because sometimes, it only takes one person paying attention to save a life. Thank you for watching.